and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking a Cryptic, where today we're going to look at a sequel to a puzzle we have solved on the channel before. We solved a puzzle a couple of months ago, I think, called 14 by FryTheGuy. It was an amazing puzzle featuring killer cages that just all added up to the number 14. Now you can see that this one is similar, except this time it's called 10 Knights because there is a Knight's move restriction, and we've only got cages that add up to 10 in the grid. Now, the reason we're doing this is that a little while ago, a man called Phistomefel wrote to me, and he's recommended 3 puzzles that we really should try on the channel at some point, and this is in fact one of them. And indeed, if you go to the Logic Masters Germany page where it talks about this puzzle, look at some of the feedback here. SKTX is a wonderful solver and setter, baffling, entertaining and enlightening. Don't like the word baffling there, that's a bit worrying. Codec, this is even better than 14, wow. Phistomefel himself, I think this is a very involved and beautiful puzzle. At the start I was a bit baffled how in the world this can solve, but bit by bit I made progress and the puzzle unfolded. Thank you so much for setting this beauty, FryTheGuy. And my favourite comment though is actually Jeet Sampat, who writes, solving this puzzle correctly is the best thing I have done in my life by a long shot. Wow, that is praise indeed. So I'm hoping we'll have a similar sort of experience. We shall have to see. I'll read you the rules in just a second. Before we get to the rules though, a couple of things. Firstly, I need to say congratulations to Jakob Weiser. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Jakob, you've won the merch. You've won the merch from the Looney Tunes Sudoku Hunt over on Patreon this month. We have had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries, and we picked you out of a hat just this morning. So many congratulations. Those of you who are still battling with it, there is now a solution video we've released over on Patreon. Do check that out. If you're a $3 patron, you'll have access to that right now. $2 patrons get the puzzles, of course. $3 patrons get the extra video content. Do consider becoming a patron if you do enjoy the channel. We would be most grateful. It helps to keep the channel going. Anything else to mention? I don't think so. Let's get on with this one, and I'll read you the rules. I think this could be a long video. This has 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany. Right, here we go. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells that are a chess knight's move apart must not contain the same digit. So let's just stop there and make sure we understand what that means. If this square was a 1 in the centre of a grid, and if it was a chess knight, it could jump to all of those cells, and therefore none of these cells can contain the digit 1. We must make sure that the same digit is not a knight's move apart from itself. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage, which in this case is always 10, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So normal killer Sudoku rules apart from that. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And how on earth do we get cracking? Oh, I'm getting texted, but that's fine. We shall get cracking by... Well, good grief. Presumably we've got to think about... I was about to say the 3-cell 10 cages. We've only got 2 2-cell 10 cages. There are 4 ways of making 10 in 2 cells. So we can have 4, 6, 3, 7, 2, 8 and 1, 9. But I think there are actually 4 ways of making 10 in 3 cells as well, because we can have 1, 2, 7... 1, 3, 6, 1, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 5. So there are 4 ways of making 10 in 3 cells, and 4 ways of making 10 in 2 cells. This is not getting me very far, is it? Now, I've got the knight's move constraint as well. So presumably what I've got to do firstly is to try to... I can separate these out. So for example, if I can, well, yeah, this cage can't be the same as this cage because this digit cannot appear in those cells. So perhaps what I've got to do is to try and colour these cages in according to their possible. Maverick has just taken off. I just don't believe it. It's almost like I'm bugged. And the moment I click I turn the webcam on, off he takes from the local aerodrome to buzz past my window. Well, Maverick, well done again. Okay, hang on. So let's start with that one. Let's just colour that one in. So this is some variety of 10 gauge. And this is a different variety of 10 gauge because this cell can't appear in it. Now this one, I mean this cell, for example, sees the whole of that 10 gauge. So this is different. This one is different from this one. But is it different from green? That, if it's the same as green, then 2 of the digits would have to go in this 10 gauge. So if this was green, 2 of the digits here would meet their friends up here and have to go in this 10 gauge. And that's interesting because then all 3 cells would have to be the same. Because if you think about it, let's imagine this was, I don't know, 1 and 5, and this was 1, 4, 5. Now, because there are 2 digits, 1 and 5, in this 10 gauge, the other digit must also be the same, because of course once 2 digits are the same, when you add those up, the 3rd digit will be the balancing figure. So that would mean that was a 4. And that would actually break the puzzle, but that's just coincidence, I think, because I happen to have chosen silly or digits that can't repeat. Is that right? So if I'd chosen different options there, would this always break in this square? I'm very reluctant to conclude that, because without testing every single version of what we could put in the green cells, I'm sort of reluctant to conclude that that might be the case. So maybe a more sensible strategy here is actually not to focus on this one, but to focus on this group of digits here. And the reason I say that is that at least these all have sort of heavy interaction as a result of knight's moves, whereas this one doesn't really. This is why I'm struggling, I think, to conclude much about the relationship between this one and this one, is that I just can't get at it with knight's move logic. So I'm actually going to change my mind here. I'm going to have a look at these 2 and then maybe this one. So these 2 are definitely not the same. We can say that with certainty because this digit sees everything in purple. No. Okay, I've had another thought. Here is a sensible thought that I probably should have had instantly, because I think I've had this in a puzzle that had 10 gauges in it before. But we've concluded these are different gauges. Now, I want to ask a question. Do these gauges have any digits in common? The answer is, I think, yes. And interestingly, I think we can even be more specific than that. These 2 gauges, the purple gauge and the green gauge, have exactly 1 digit in common. Why do I say that? Well, let's firstly establish whether they can have no digits in common. If they have no digits in common, then the minimum I can make 6 cells add up to, if they have no repeated digits, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in some order. I know they don't add up to 10, but let's just see the point here. The point is that if I add 6 different digits up, the minimum those 6 different digits add up to is 21. And therefore, those gauges will be broken however we arrange those digits, because they need to add up to 20. So there must be a repeated digit between these, at least 1 repeated digit. But what would happen if there was 2 repeated digits? We've already looked at this. If there's 2 repeated digits, So if you put 1 and 5 in there and 1 and 5 in here somehow, you'd have to put 4 into the other cells and they would be the same cage. And we know these are not the same cage because this digit, for example, can't appear in purple. All a very long-winded way of saying there is a repeated digit between these cages. And that repeated digit, well, it's not there or there, is it? Because neither of these two cells here can appear in the 10 cage at all because of the rules of Sudoku. So this digit, this is lovely, this is lovely. So this digit has to appear in the 10 cage because there must be one repeated digit. And where does it go? Well, it's got to go there. Those two squares have got to be the same, because this square sees that one by knight's move and that one by knight's move. So that is fascinating. So that means one of these squares is blue. Maverick's cross now. He's doing another fly past because I've found some logic. Now, I wonder, can I extend this one to this one? That would be very interesting. So question 1, is this purple cage the same? Well, it's not the same, is it? It's definitely not the same as that cage, because these two digits, if these two cages had the same makeup, those two cages, or those two cells would have to appear in that cell exactly, and that's impossible. So purple is not the same as this. Oh, this is really cool. This square can't repeat in this 10 cage at all. It just can't appear in it. So if that was a 1, where are you going to put the 1 in that 10 cage? Can't go in those, can't go here by knight's move. So actually, green is not the same as this either. So this is a new cage, a new type of 10 cage. And right, and we can now go to the question of where's the repeated digit? Can we? We know this isn't the repeated digit in here because this cell sees the whole of that cage. That one, if it's that one, that would repeat here. Hang on, that's actually not possible for a strange reason. Oh no, hang on, is it? No, that's actually, I was thinking incorrectly. I was thinking that because that digit couldn't go in green, there was a problem. But I don't think that's true. This digit would have to go there. Is there some problem with that? I don't think there is. This is complicated, isn't it? I don't think I can do this. If it's that digit that's repeating, it has to go here. No, not there. That's a knight's move away. It has to go here. And then that digit, whatever it was, couldn't appear in the 10 cage. Ah! When I say the 10 cage, I mean the green cage. What about there must be a common digit between green and orange. Again, I know it's not that digit, but it could be. Yeah, this is not going very well, actually. Maybe this is not how we're meant to solve this. What about this cage? Can we do anything similar with this cage? This cage here. You see, it would be interesting if we could conclude this cage was not the same as these 3 cages. Then we would have all 4 versions of a 3-cell 10 cage in quite a close proximity with each other. Yeah, well, this is strange. I can see that orange is not the same as this cage because these 2 cells can't appear in this cage at all. And exactly the same is true here of purple. Purple can't be the same as this cage because these 2 cells would both have to fit into that cell. So this one is not orange, it's not purple. I don't know whether it's green. because unfortunately this square could go in that cage there, then that one could go there, and that one could go there, and that might work. So maybe we look at, maybe we find whether there's a repeated digit. Well, we know there's a repeated digit between these two cages because they're not the same, so there must be one repeated digit. This square is not the... Oh, yeah, this is better. This square is not the repeated digit because it sees the whole of that cage. That cell sees the whole of that cage, so that cell repeats. Oh, so it's similar, look. It's similar to this one. This one is the repeated digit. I use black. And it has to not go in those two by knight's move. So that square and that square are the same. Maybe I'll make this whole cage yellow. Although then I have to cater for the fact that yellow might equal green. Oh. What about this cage? Let's come back to this cage. Can this cage... Well, we know this cage is not the same as the yellow cage. So again, there's a repeated digit. The repeated digit is not... Oh, good grief. This is really clever. This is really, really stunning, actually. Because which one of these cells is repeated in the yellow cage? It's not the blue. It's not this square. Because if it was this square, we know blue is the same. We know those two digits are the same. They just can't appear in yellow. So this doesn't repeat in yellow. Does this square repeat in yellow? The answer to that... Oh, I thought I worked out that it couldn't. Hang on a minute. Have I gone crazy? I think I might have gone crazy. That's disappointing, isn't it? Oh. Although... Hang on. Let's reflect the logic. So... A while ago, I was trying to work out which was the repeated digit in those two cages. Now it's not this one. Because this one repeats here, so these are the same, and they can't appear in purple. Yeah, this is it. So this square, so which is the repeated digit between orange and purple? It's not this square either. So it's not this one. It can't be this one because this sees the whole of that cage. So it's that one. This one repeats in purple, and where does it repeat in purple? Exactly there. Good grief. So those... Oh, it's not a very good colour, actually. Those two digits are the same. Well, hang on. Now those two digits can't appear in green. Oh, this is mind-bending. So I still have the task, don't I, of finding a digit in green that repeats in orange. I don't think... I now know it's not this one, because that reflects there and can't appear in green at all, but I'm not sure I know which of these it is. If it's that one, it would have to go in one of those two. If it's this one, it has to go in exactly that one. Bother. Okay, so can we come back then? Oh, this is seriously stunning. It's seriously stunning because now I can identify which cell in purple repeats in yellow. Because it's not this one, because this digit, let's imagine it's a 1, that goes there because of the grey logic, and now this cell can't go anywhere in yellow. So, it's not this cell. It's not this cell for a different reason. It's because this cell repeats here because of something else we did, and now that cell can't appear in yellow. So it's this square. So this square repeats in yellow, and it must repeat in that. Those two squares must be the same. Isn't that amazing? I'll make those red. I think that looks like it's visible anyway. But I still don't think I know. Do I? Do I now know that? Do I now know whether the green and yellow could be the same? if green and yellow are the same, this digit needs to appear in green, and it can't. Sorry, I'm just going to double check this because this is fairly mentally complicated, but I don't see how that can be the case. If green and yellow are the same cage, this needs to appear, this cell, whatever it is, needs to appear in green. It would have to go there, and it can't go there because I know these two cages are not the same, and therefore they have a repeated digit, and those repeated digits can be only there from the logic we've just done. So it's not possible. So green is different from yellow, and therefore it must have a repeated digit. Ah! This is mad. This is absolutely mad. So this is different to this. This digit can't repeat in the green. This digit could repeat in the green. This digit could repeat in the green. Bother. Okay. Red by Sudoku has to go down there along with blue. Grey has to find a home in box 5 in one of those 3 cells, I think. It can't be in this cell because it would be a knight's move away from itself. I have a feeling I've missed a deduction here though, because I don't actually see what this is doing for me. I've got lots and lots of cells that have to repeat. One of those cells has to be black, but by Sudoku. And I know that, well, I think I do know that these are all different configurations now of the 10 cage. Oh, right, okay. So perhaps what I'm meant to do hang on a minute. I've got 4 digits in column 3. Yes, right. At least I think so. Let us think about the compositions of 10 cages. We've got a 127, a 136, a 145, and a 235. Now, these cages are all different, and yet column 3 is telling us that there are 4 digits that are different digits, because they're all in the same column, that repeat in those various combinations. Now 1 obviously repeats. 1 repeats 3 times because it's in 127, 136 and 145. But I can't put 1 in all of these squares. I can put 1 in one of them to reflect the fact it's repeating in a different version of a 10 cage. 2 can be 127 or 235. So 1 and 2 can go in these squares. 3 can go in 235 and 136. So 1, 2 and 3 can go in. 4 goes in 145. No, you see 4 can't go in one of those squares because 4 doesn't repeat in another version of the 10 cage. 5 does because it goes in 145 and 235. 6 is only in one version, 136. 7 is only in one version, 127. So these 4 squares are 1, 2, 3 and 5. That is mad, absolutely mad. But at least I've now got pencil marks in the grid. Oh, I suppose that's going down there. That's a 1, 2, 3 or a 5. That's a 1, 2, 3 or a 5 because those are the same. That's the same. That's a 1, 2, 3 or a 5. And that's the same. So now I've now got a quadruple in box 4. Oh, this is it. Right, now look at this 10 cage. Each of the digits in this 10 cage has to be selected from just the options 1, 2, 3 and 5. Well, the only way of making 3 of them add up to 10 is if there's no 1 in the cage. So this is a 2, 3, 5 cage. Good grief. And now these reflect, look, so that goes down there, that goes down there, that goes down here. And now look at the quadruple that we did have in box 4. Now I've turned those 3 into a triple, so that square's got to be the 1. And that one repeats. Let's just double check that. That one repeats there, so that's a 1. So there's now a 1 in one of those 3 squares over in box 6. Wow. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, how do you set something like this? And a better question might be, how do you solve it? Because although we've just done something that feels miraculous, I don't know what to do next. There must be a 1, mustn't there, in this cage? Because yes, these are the 4 different versions of the 10 cage. And that one is the 2, 3, 5, so everything else has a 1 in it. These 2 have 1 in it, this must have a 1 in it. So these 2 squares have got to be 4, 6 or 7, because they've got to be the other digits you can put in a 3-cell 10 cage. And this one's got to have a 4, 6 or a 7 in it. So these squares here are from 1, 4, 6 and 7. Right, got something of that square. Can that square be a 4, 6 or a 7? No, I don't think so. Because, let's say it's a 6, where does it go in this box now? By Sudoku it can't go there, by Knight's Move it can't go there, and it's not the same as orange. This is a different version of 10 cage from this version. So if we try and put 6 here, which is permissible by Sudoku, but it's not permissible now, because now this cage and this cage are not different. And where are you going to put this digit in this orange cage? It can't go in there anywhere. So we've broken the puzzle. So I don't think this square can be a 4, 6 or a 7. I think it has to be the 1. So that means 1 is in one of 2 places in box 7, because it can't go here because of the Knight's Move. Do we know that there's a 1 in that cage? Yes, we do. Yes, we do, actually, because this cage can't be a 2, 3, 5 cage, or this cell would have no value. So there's a 1 in that cage, and now by Sudoku there's a 1 in this cage. And look now, that's interesting. This pattern, it comes up in Knight's Move puzzles. I may not have done one for a while, but I do remember this pattern. How could that square be a 1? How could this square be a 1? Answer, it can't. You put a 1 here, you now can't put a 1 in any of those 3 squares because of the Knight's Move rule. So those 2 squares lose their ability to be 1s. That means in column 8, 1 has to be down at the bottom, look. It can't be in these 6 cells. Tempted to look at this 10 cage now. Ooh. Well, you can't put 1 here, and you can't put 1 here, because a 1 here does the same damage that the ones in those 2 squares do. You put 1 here, you now can't put a 1 in box 9. But can you put a 1 here? No, you can't. It's beautiful. You can't. If you put a 1 here, those are ruled out from being 1s. So you have to put a 1 here, and now you can't put a 1 in box 7. That's ridiculous. So this is wrong. And that's great, because now I simply cannot put a 1 in the 10 cage. So that's a 2, 3, 5 cage, which is the same as this one. So this has acquired the rank of purple. Oh, what was grey? Oh, grey was that one, which is the same as that one. So it's absolutely possible that that could be grey and purple simultaneously. Right. Okay. Okay. How long have we had? Half an hour. Gosh, that has flown by. 2, 3, 5. What does this mean? I've not got a clue. I don't even really have a good feel for where I should look now. Can we do anything with... Can I do anything with this 2, 3, 5 triple? Maybe on box 2? You can't put 2, 3, 5 there. This cell can't be... In fact, oh yeah, okay, that's a little bit interesting. Neither of those squares can be a 2, 3 or a 5, because this domino sees the whole of that 10 cage because of the knight's move constraint. So you can't put 2, 3 and 5 in this P pentomino here. That means we have to put the digits 2, 3 and 5, the 3 digits have to be in this tetromino. And that means those 2 squares cannot be 2, 3, 5, because we know there's a 1 in the 10 cage. So if you put a 2, 3, 5, you know, the highest you can make this domino add up to if you selected them from the digits 2, 3 and 5 would be 3 plus 5 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9, which here is a knowledge bomb from cracking the cryptic. That does not equal 10. So in this tetromino, that square must be a 2, 3 or a 5. And that square is therefore awarded the colour of blue. And I say that because it's not that digit, which is red, it's not that digit, which is grey, by Sudoku, so it must be that digit. So now all these 3 digits are the same. What does that mean? Does that mean I now know what this 10 cage is? I might do, actually. Hang on a minute, let me just think about this. This 10 cage is it's either green, orange or yellow. Now, it's not yellow because we know that there is a red digit in yellow. So if it was yellow, you'd have 2 reds in row 2. Now it's not green because green reflects into blue. These mad sentences. Oh, it's just a sequence of mad sentences. So it's not yellow, it's not green, so it must be orange. That's an orange 10 cage, which means it has a grey in it, look, because that grey... In fact, I might get rid of my black highlighting, I'm just thinking now, because that's a bit confusing and I don't think I need it. I've pencil marked the ones all around the grid without using the black highlighting. So maybe we get rid of the black highlighting. And we learn that this is orange, and orange contains a grey digit. So there is a grey digit in there. Do we know what that one is then as well? By the same logic, yes we do. We do know what this one is, because this again is either this, this or this in its nature. It's not the one that's got blue in it. It's not the one that's got grey in it, so it's the one that's got the yellow and the red in it. This is mad. Now, that's red, so that's not red. Okay, so that means there's a red down there. Oh, I don't want to So yellow and orange share a 1, don't they? So they can't have a second shared digit. So that means yellow is down here. And red is down here. So that means yellow. Yeah, I'm now starting to think that what I actually need to do here is to divide the high and the low digits in these cages up, because I have actually labelled the low digits. You know, I always know the low digit. I almost need to get rid of the ones actually colouring. That might be the simplest way of doing it. So the red digit is the low digit, it's the 2, 3 or the 5, which might actually not turn out to be the low digit if it was a 1, 5, 4 cage. And the yellow, the orange and the maverick, no, not the maverick, the green. So the yellow, orange and green. Yeah, because we know these 3 cages are different, that's quite interesting as well. These 3 digits here are different. That is a triple. That is a 4, 6, 7 triple. Right, okay. Well, what about that digit then? That digit sees the 4, 6, 7 triple, and it sees the 2, 3, 5 triple in that cage, or in that column. In fact, that might be a simpler way of seeing that. So this square can't be a 1, that's an 8 or a 9. This is lunacy, isn't it? It's just sheer lunacy. Now, orange and grey have to go up there, I think. But does that mean that's an orange-grey pair? I think it does, because orange-grey can't go in here because we're only allowed to share 1 digit between these 10 cages, and we know that shared digit is a 1. So orange and grey go down here, then orange and grey go up here, but this is an orange-grey pair, so that's not orange or grey, so this is an orange-grey pair, I think. Logic feels correct. So can we figure out what these 2 are then? That one is going to have difficulty going into box 4. Let me just think about this. So this square here, do we know anything about its nature? We know. We do know it. Yeah, we know it's not 2, 3 or 5 actually, because the 2, 3 and 5 are catered for in these 5 cells. So it's not 1, it's not 2, 3 or 5. So it's 4, 6, 7, 8 or 9. But yeah, okay, this is actually rather beautiful. So what I want to ask, I think, is this cell 4, 6 or 7? Because I don't think it is. Because let's consider the options. If it's 4, 6 or 7, we have to ask where it goes in this cage, or this box I should say. Well, there are 2 possibilities. It's either orange, which it's not, because we know orange is already here in box 1, or it goes into this exact cell. Now it cannot go into this exact cell because this exact cell sees the 4, 6, 7 triple that we know exists in this bizarre world where there is a 4, 6, 7 triple in that cell, and that cell. So this cell can't be those digits. It sees that one by Knight's Move, that one by Sudoku, that one by Sudoku. So this means this square is not, well, it means this square is not 4, 6 or 7. So this square is 8 or 9. Which means that square is 8 or 9 by Sudoku. I'm now thinking we might have to colour in 8s and 9s. Because that digit's got to go down here. How many colours have I got left to use? I think, did I free up? I freed up black, didn't I? Let's make those black. Yeah, I can read that. So that there's a black down there. Black must be in one of those 2 cells, in box 2. And in one of those 3 cells in box 3. And the colours are getting ever more complicated. But this square now, we know that square now, don't we? Because everything in here has a colour. Yeah, we know this is yellow because of Sudoku. We know this digit hasn't found a place yet in this box. So that one is a 4, 6, 7 and it's yellow. Whoops, 4, 6, 7, yellow. So that square is not now yellow. Because it's a knight's move away from its friend. In fact, that square is not 1 either, I'm now seeing. So that square is just red, I think. Red is this digit. So this is a 2, 3 or a 5. And that's not red. So we've got a 2, 3, 5 triple now in box 2. Okay. And I'm not sure I need the purple colouring either, do I? Do I need the purple colouring? I don't think I do, because each of these digits has got its own colour. So sorry, I'm going to get rid of purple colouring as well, just in an effort to stay on top of, or to keep some flexibility. I now can make that purple. Okay, what does this mean? Haven't got a clue. Have not got the foggiest idea. I'm going to get rid of green from that because we know those 3 are the same. So this is a green 4, 6, 7. So that's got to have a home in one of those 2 cells in box thingy, box 2. Therefore there's a green up there. And I'm feeling like I'm a bit stuck again, I have to say. So, is there anything more we can eke out of some of these digits? How long have I had now? 42 minutes. It's just flying by, much like Maverick. Green, I haven't put green in this column, so one of those 2 squares is green. So these have become a green-black pair. Green has to appear in this box in one of those 2 cells. This square here needn't... No, that's not yellow. That's red, isn't it? That's the same as those. This one needs to just be grey now. That's going to be easier to follow. Okay. So the colours I've not placed in this column are yellow. Oh, yellow. Where does yellow go in this box? Not there by knight's move, not there by knight's move, only there. That's yellow. Wow. So one of these is... Oh, I see. These are a one of those has got to be purple. Ah, okay. That's minor. That might be interesting for the 10 cage, you know, these 2 squares, because now that can't be a 4-6 pair. If that's a 4-6 pair, both of those squares would have to be a 7, and that's clearly impossible. So this has to be either 2-8 or 3-7, because it can't be 1-9. And then we've got a 2-3. Hang on, we've got a 2-3-5 triple here, so that's not 2 or 3, and that must be. So this is just 2 or 3 now, and this is just 7 or 8. Which feels like it might be important. But I'm not sure exactly how. I don't even know where to look, to be honest. orange. Hang on, can we just... One of those has to be orange, doesn't it? Just by Sudoku. What's orange? Orange is a 4, 6 or a 7. So I'm just trying to work out what I've not have I not pencil marked purple in here? Purple definitely can't go there, there or there. Purple can't go here by knight's move. Why can't... No, yes, I see. Look, purple in box 3 is in one of those cells because it can't go in a 10 cage. So that means purple in this box is actually fixed, not here because of the knight's move. That is purple. And that means it's 8 or 9. And this is green. So this is not green. So this is now 4, 6 or 7. And we know these are a 1 orange grey triple. I should know what colour these are. These have got to include a blue. Yes, they do have to include a blue. Although I don't think that's very helpful because we don't seem to know much about blue. So what's... Yeah, okay, so this is a 1, 4, 6, 7 yellow, 2, 3. This is a... Oh, this is mad. This is a yellow, red, 1 combination. Yeah, but what's that digit? That digit is not 8, because if you put 8 there, where do you put 8 in this box now? Answer, nowhere. Because of the knight's move, that can't be an 8. You couldn't put an 8 in those 3 squares, and none of the others can have an 8, because that's a 10 cage. So that's not 8, that's 7. This is 3. 3 now on this 10 cage can't go there or there because of the knight's move, so 3 goes down here. This can't be a 3 now. This can't be a 3 because of the knight's move. These two can't be 7s. Ah, so now that can't be a 7 because that's yellow. Now I've got a 4, 6 pair here. Remember, these are a 4, 6, 7 triple, so green is 7. Green is 7. Green is 7, so that's a 7, and it's what I mean is it's green. What's this one then? This is grey. Does that mean it's the same as that, or could this be... I'm not quite sure if that's the same as those, because grey seems to be also possible in this cell. I better not do that. I'm not sure. Phone is going bananas. It's probably something to do with Maverick. So now, if I've learned what green... Oh, I see. I now know this 10 cage. This 10 cage has got to be a 1, 2, 7 cage, and that means I know blue. And blue goes up there. And now blue fixes that as a 5. I don't believe it. That's a 5. There's a 5 in one of those 2 squares. Probably this one, but I'm not quite sure about my pencil marking. This square, red is now a 3. That's a 3. Red is a 3, so that's a 6 to make this 10 cage work. Yellow has become 6. 6. This is a 1, 6 pair. I don't believe it. This is a 4. Orange is 4 now, so there's a 4 in one of those. 4 in one of those. Oh, I see, yes. So this is a 4, 5 pair, because we know that orange goes with grey in a 1, 4, 5, 10 cage. So this is a 1, 4, 5, 10 cage. This is a 4, 8, 9 option, depending on what this is. Oh, so we've got... Yes, okay, so we've got a 4, 8, 9 triple in this box. My goodness me. This puzzle is ridiculously clever. It's just, I mean, I feel like a broken record sometimes, you know, when I say things like this, but surely anybody watching this or anyone who's tried to solve it will just be thinking the same thing. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But what we have not done yet is solved it. I've got 2 5s. Look, yeah, okay. So now, right, this is a blue-grey combination. And that square's got to be a 2 5 by Sudoku, look. So I've nearly done all the cages. I haven't done this 10 cage. I'm going to look at this 10 cage. This row, look, we need to place, we can't, where does 5 go? In row 5. Oh, no, it's in one of 2 places. Okay, suddenly I got excited because I realised I couldn't put it in the 10 cage. So this square is either 2, 8 or 9 then, which means this square is an 8 because that would require a 2 here. So this is 8 or 1. Right, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. It's not 8. Why is it not 8? Well, where do I put the 8 now in this box? I'd have to put it there. And now where do I put the 8 in this box? The answer is nowhere. It doesn't work. You can't put 8 here because of the knight's move, and you can't put 8 in those 2 by Sudoku. So that actually is really gorgeous. That means this square's a 1 and that square's a 9. Which, this 1 fixes where the 1 goes in this triple. It's got to go there now because of the knight's move constraint. So that's not a 1. Is that useful? Has that done lots of damage to the puzzle? The answer might be no. 1 is in this triple down here. What you can't do though is put 1 into this little cell, because that's going to give you the same problem in box 7 that you had before. If you put 1 here, you have to put 1 there, and now you can't put a 1 in box 7. So that square's not 1. So the 1 is in one of those squares, which fixes the 1 and the 6 at the top. Which, this square I've just noticed sees that square, so that square's not allowed to be 9 anymore. This 9 is fixing that square, I suppose. That's an 8. 8 is a black square, so that's an 8. That's a 9. That's a 9. Oh, okay, so that would have been a simpler way of getting rid of the 9 from these squares. Oh, but this is still good, because where does a 9 go in this triple? It can't go in those squares because of this little 9 here, so that's a 9. 9 is a purple cell, so let's colour those both in. Those lose their ability to be purple. So this is a 3-6 pair. It's these 2 colours, but we don't know the order. Those 2 squares are a 7 and 9, based off the colouring. That's now a 7-8 pair at the bottom of column 3. Let's get rid of the 5 pencil mark there, that's distracting. And we shall have another stare at the grid. What about these squares? We can actually pencil mark those in, can't we? They're 2s, 7s and 8s. This 7 sees that square. Can't see what else is seen there. That needs to lose its colour. I don't think 1s deserve a colour. I didn't give 1s colours, did I? So we've got the 4-5 pair here. You can see when I get stuck, I just start tidying up pencil marks. Come on, what else do we do here? Red 3. So 3 is in one of those cells. One of those 2 squares is red. Uh, 9. Yeah, okay. Where does 9 go in box 5? It can't go in these cells because of this 9. So it's in one of those 2 squares. So one of those 2 is purple. Which means I suppose that one of these 3 squares is purple. But I don't think we know which ones. I have a feeling I'm missing a point there, but I don't know what it is. So 7 has to go in one of those 3 squares at the bottom of column 4. Right, what are we missing here? What about this column? We've done a lot of work in this column. We just need 4s, 6s and 8s. So this is a 4, 6 or an 8. This is a 4, 6 or an 8. Now let's check whether or not we can eliminate something because of knight's moves. And the answer is apparently no. Oh, you rotten thing. Bobbins, bobbins, bobbins. Let's break the pop filter. This square is restricted actually. Sorry, I've just noticed that. It sees 7, 9 and 4 by virtue of sort of Sudoku-y Knights movie type stuff. Hang on. What can this square be? It can't be 1. It can't be 2. It can't be 3. It can't be 4. It can't be 5. It can't be 6 or 7 or 9. Good grief. Right, that square is evil. That is a naked single 8. Oh, that's gorgeous though. 8 and 4 go in. So that's not an 8 anymore. So those squares are now 4s, 6s and 9s, aren't they? Which sort of feels like it might matter. Although maybe not. There's 4, yes, that's seeing that square. That's now a 5. That's a 4. The 8 is seeing this one. Oh, this is lovely. So now we get a 7, 8 pair here, and we can resolve the colouring of that one. These 2 squares have to be not blue anymore, so they are green and black. That square's not an 8 at the bottom of the grid. 8 gets pencil marked into one of those 3 squares. Ah, right, okay, I can do something with that, because look at this 7, 8 pair here. So let's imagine this square wasn't a 7 or an 8. It's another knight's move trick here. Now these 2 squares are a 7, 8, but what do you put into this square? Nothing. Because if you put 7 in, you rule 7 out from both of them. If you put 8 in, you rule 8 out from both of them. So you will remove the ability for one of those digits to exist in box 8. In other words, this square has to be a 7 or an 8. Which gives us a 7, 8 pair in row 8. Oh, I see. No, this is beautiful. Now this 6 has become very important, hasn't it? Because you can't go anywhere in the box except this square here. So that's a 6, that's a 4. We've got a 6, 9 pair here. Oh, which means we now know what these digits are at the bottom. They've got to be 4s, 7s and 8s. And this one sees that one. So that gives us the 4 at the bottom of the grid. This square is now... So we've now got a 7, 8 pair. This 4 is... Yes, this 4 is beautiful because this 4 sees that square. So where do we put the 4 in this box? The answer is I don't know, but it's definitely in one of those 2 squares. 4 is orange, so this has become a triple now, and 4 fixes the top of the grid. So that's 4, that's 5, that's orange, and that is therefore grey. And these squares are now known to be 1, 5 and 9. It's really tempting to colour them all in. I'm going to do it. So 9 is a purple, 5 is a grey. There we go. 1 doesn't deserve a colour. That's not 1. Okay, so can we keep this going? It's going to be over an hour long video, and for that I make no apologies. Basically, the objective on Cracking the Cryptic is to showcase the world's best puzzles, and there is no doubt in my mind that this is one of the best puzzles in the world. So this is the sort of thing we need to be trying to solve on the channel. Now, I can't see whether I can resolve this 2-5 pair. 3, 6, 7. These are from 3, 6 and 7 again. I don't know how to resolve that either. So we're getting stuck again here. What on earth do we do now? Does anybody know? I don't even really. It's strange given the puzzle is so complete. I think I've done all of the 10 cages. But I feel like I must, there should be somewhere I know where to look now. But there isn't. So these are green and black as well. The 7s and the 8s aren't seeing them though. What about, we can resolve the 4. The 4 and the 8 are resolved. 8 is the black digit, so that one needs to be the black digit, that needs to be a black digit, that needs to be an orange digit. You can see this would otherwise be a deadly pattern, but because of the knight's move, it actually wasn't, it was resolvable. That's orange. I really feel like I'm grasping at straws now, trying to work out what's going on. Are these somehow restricted? Let's actually just label these up. These are 1, 2, 5 and 9, and we know that this square is not 1. This square is not 2 or 5 because it sees both of those cells in the 10 cage because of the knight's move constraint. So this, we can't say the same about this though, so that's not resolved. Wow, no, I don't know that this is proving very fruitful. Good grief. So how on earth do we make progress here? Maybe 6s. 6 can't go there, so 6 is in one of these 2 cells. Do we know which one? The answer is probably, but I don't know which one. What about 7s in this box? Are they restricted? Oh yeah, actually they are. This 7, where does it go? Oh no, I was for some reason I eliminated this square. That's not correct. The 7 is in one of 3 places, I think. Oh, that's not nearly as exciting. So 7 is in one of those 3 squares. It would be very useful if it was in one of those 2 squares. Okay. So what else? 8 in this box has to be in one of these 3 squares, I think. So that means, well, we already knew this square couldn't be an 8, so that's no use. I think I've got to have to do some good levels of pencil marking here to make any more progress. I'm struggling to see what on earth I've got to do next. That square can't be a 7 because of the knight's move. Oh, now I've got a 3-6 pair out of nowhere in column 8. That might be helpful. So maybe 3. Can we do something with 3 in box 9? The answer seems to be no. 3's still got 4 positions to go into. Bother. What colour is 3? 3 is a red colour, so that needs to be red. So that can't be red over there. So we've got over here, we've got 3's into one of those squares, and the other colour is 2. So this is a 2, 3, 4 triple. 2, 3, 4 triple. Let me just see if I can do anything better with this. Is this square seeing anything? I don't think it is. No, we've ground to the most almighty halt here. Goodness me. I don't even know where. I don't have a good feel for where to look here even. So what about 2's and 5's? 2's and 5's are going to be subjected to this area of the grid. Does that help? Because you can't put a 2, 5 here because it would ruin this this domino's ability to be 2's and 5's. The answer seems to be no. I mean, maybe I'll pencil mark it, but I really don't like the look of it. There must be a way of getting into this bottom part of the grid. Is it? Maybe it's a digit I've already looked at and then haven't thought about again for a while. What about 9? Yeah, look, one of those two squares has to be a 9. Don't think I can resolve that. Is there a 9 pointing down from over here? No, so that's not how to resolve it. 6 I've already looked at. Good grief. I mean, I'm really stuck. It's a bit... I feel a bit like I'm letting the puzzle down here because I did so much good work and now I'm just absolutely bamboozled as to what I've got to do next. 4, is that restricted? It just isn't. What about 4 in this box then? Maybe... Oh yeah, okay. That's what I should have looked at. Where does 4 go in this box? Can't go here by knight's move. Can't go there, so that's a 4. Has that done anything really useful though? It's given me an orange digit, which I'm always grateful for. So 4 in this box now can't go in. It's forced to be there, isn't it? That's what I've been missing. There we go. So that's a 4 because it can't go here because of the knight's move. And that being a 4, I can see has just taken the pencil mark position of a 6. Which means this is no longer a 6. 6 is a yellows, so they turn yellow. This 4 is giving me a 2 over here, which gives me a 3 and a 4 here. Lovely. Okay, so maybe this is going to be what we needed to know. Blue is 2, so let's do that. That one, as we know, is orange. So we might have done, yeah, we've done all the 4s now. This can no longer be a 2. In fact, this cell has to be a 1, 5 or a 9 because we're just left with a 1, 5, 9 triple in row 8. 3, is 3 restricted? Oh, it is, but in an annoying way. 3 has to be in one of those two cells. Can't be here because of the knight's move. And indeed the 3, 6 pair. 2. No, I don't think we do know about 2s. So, alright, what's going on in this column then? We need lots of things. We need lots of things to go along in that column. That's probably not where we need to look, to be honest. Maybe this column would be a better idea. 3, 6, 7 and 8 to place. Well, we can't put 6s in either of those squares. So 3, 7 or 8. Now that square can't be a 3. So this is a 7 or an 8, which joins its friend here. So we've now got a 7, 8 pair in the bottom row. That means these squares have to be from 1, 2, 5 and 9. Is that helpful? Don't know. Wow. Okay, this square, that one can't be a 3. So this has got to be 6, 7 or 8. Surely something is looking at that that's doing damage to it, is it? I don't believe it. I don't think it is. Oh, I'm so sorry if you're seeing lots of things that I'm not seeing here. I'm really stuck. That square's got to be either green or black. Wow. Wow, you rotten thing. What should we do next then? We've got to look at... I don't know. I don't even know where to look, to be honest. Maybe... Oh, I tell you what is restricted. This square is restricted because it can't be 2 or 5. So maybe this is the key square. This square cannot be 1, 2. It can be 3. It can't be 4, 5. It can't be 7. 3, 7 or 8, I think. which is, so I've now got a 3, 7, 8 triple in this box out of nowhere. Where has that appeared from? And here is a point. This square can't be 7, because then you couldn't put 7 in box 6 anywhere. Well, 7's a pencil marked into those two squares. This square sees both of those because of the knight's move, so that's just 3 or 8. That means one of these two is a 7, and this is not a 7. And if that's not a 7, that square is a 7. Please. So that's a 7 and that's an 8. That gives me a 3 down here. Now look, I've got a 7, 8 pair, which means that square seems to have to be a 6. That gets me my 6 and my 9. 9 and my 7. Keep going now. That one must be I need to put a 3 up there. It's got to go there. That gives me a 3 and a 6. Oh, I had a horrible moment then when I didn't think I had a 6 already placed in this box, but I do. So this is now yellow, this is yellow, and that's red. And that should be a different colour entirely. That needs to be a green colour. That needs to be a green colour. Whoops. And that needs to be the black colour. And this 7 I see is seeing that one by knight's move. So that is a black 8, which means this is a 7. Which means that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 7, that's an 8. And all of a sudden I'm a little bit hopeful that we might be able to do something. Now that square's now got to be an 8 by Sudoku. How are these 2s and 5s getting resolved? That's an interesting question. And this square here has got to be 1, 2, 5 or 9. It's not 2 or 5 because it sees that domino. So this, and it's not 9 because it sees that square. That's a naked single 1 now. So that's a 1 and that's a 1 in the other boxes. We can remove 1 from all of those squares. We can remove 9 from this square. So we've left with a 2, 5 pair in this configuration. I can get rid of loads of pencil marking now. I'm going to do that because it's all getting a bit cluttered. So this is where we end up, is it? And I'm still not done. Let me just stare for a moment. Hopefully, only a moment. This 3 is red. Yep, you're right. I'm distracting, playing for time. That's a black one. This one is a green one. That one's a green one. And that's a black one. Still haven't resolved this 2, 5 here. Oh, right. This 9 is seeing that square. So that has to not be a 9. That's a 5. And maybe that will do it. That's giving me a... yeah, look. That's giving me a 5 here and a 2 here and a 9 here. And a 2 here and a 5 here. This 2 is going to see that by knight's move. Good grief. Good grief. This is one of the most brilliant puzzles. It really is. Lose the colouring from that. 5 needs to be a greyish sludge colour. Fill in the grey sludge, fill in the purple, fill in the blue for the 2, the blue for the 2, figure out these 2, like that. And, I know people will get cross if I don't do this properly, so I will just try and finish off the colouring according to the scheme that I have invented. There we go. I think, yes, that's how to solve it. 1 hour, 14 minutes. But I'm not actually that embarrassed about that. Oh, I've just noticed I am embarrassed about that, sorry. That was really, really not easy, I don't think. That 6 is the wrong colour as well. Oh dear. I've had a bit of a ricket with my colouring, but there we go. Maybe that's better. It's an extraordinary puzzle. Absolutely extraordinary. The way that you have to sort of build up these 10 cages, and you can work out, A, they have a repeated digit, B, and you have to keep shuffling about how to do it, but you can work out where the repeated digits go, and that eventually leads to the conclusion these are all different cages. And after that, it doesn't get much easier. We got that was a 2, 3, 5 cage, didn't we? That forced there to be a 1 in that one. And eventually, after a lot of jiggery-pokery, we managed to work out how to fix this 10 cage. but it was the logic is sublime. It's a ridiculously clever puzzle. FryTheGuy, take a bow. Absolutely loved it. And thank you so much for sticking with me for an hour and a quarter. I'm sorry if I was a bit slow for some of you and places, but I am actually quite proud of that solve. I think that was decent. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.